Hello, 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 hello. Once again, it is the DM podcast giving you that flavor in your ear. And of course, in this episode, I don't even know if we have a lot to talk about. A lot of disappointing things like injuries. There's injuries galore that's happening in the NBA. So we got to talk about that. We're going to talk about some few players. And we're just going to have overall just vibe check of some teams, in the NBA. We have a 12-0 team that we're really not talking about as much. They
Yeah,
won against Chicago, and we're not talking about this team. And maybe we should. Maybe we probably won't even talk about them in this pod. But if we do, we may shine some Cavs light. But before we continue, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And before we continue, how's my boy YS doing?
you already know every day above ground.
Of course, as long as we're above ground, then we're always good. Now, I was first gonna talk about, I was gonna bring up to you the dominance, not the dominance, but like I wanted to clear my thought when I was thinking, okay, KD, LeBron, and Steph, they are they are like the future. I mean, they're not the future. They were the past. Like they're the three stars. They're the top stars in the whole league, and they're still pretty dominant now. Like KD was playing like an MVP, and when I was like about to talk about him, I was going to talk about him a lot this pod, and then he got injured. But the one thing I almost wanted to say is that like Steph, LeBron, and KD, yeah, they'll have nicks and knacks there. They'll miss a couple games here and there, but it seems like their consistency of playing in the game. Ha I almost want to say like, has it hurt the way we view the young stars? That's kind of the first question I almost want to ask. Has the way we see these three stars changed everything? Because like our young stars, I don't know. This is just there's a ton of injuries. We can name a bunch of them. Paolo's out, Scotty's out, Chet just got out. Now Chet's out for 2.5 months, and this guy was playing like an all-star. It was so much guys that we're seeing just like being out. Embiid has been out. He should be back next week. I just saw that Dame is on concussion protocol. Jimmy Butler's been in and out a couple times, so but all in all, I'm thinking like those three guys that I just named, have they changed the way we view stars? Are they making it harder to view the other stars? What's your thought process?
Well, to me, that's a simple answer, right? Because you got to really take it in. Those guys play on average 70 games a season for
Right.
the most part, right? And they've been playing out close to like 20 years, 15 plus all of them, right?
Yeah.
So it's how they train. It's how they take care of their body. It's what they do. You know what I mean? There's certain drills they do, certain things they do in certain workouts, right? And a lot of young guys like Zion Williamson, I don't think they're taking their nutrition seriously, right? I don't think they're taking their job as serious as they should be taking, for example, right?
Right.
Zion was supposed to be that generational player, right? Same draft as RJ. Zion has been in, out with injuries, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't played 3 seasons, 65 games plus 3 seasons, I don't think, right? So,
I think last year he may have played 60 plus, but it's weird how he played it and like everyone was shocked that he played it. I think he played 60 something. I think he hit the threshold, but I'll double check that because it's yeah, so we're continuing.
yeah, so it's like we want the stars to play, but they're not playing these days, right? Kobe had something to say about that. He's like, you hard-earned money, you save up to watch me play, so I come to play, right? It's disappointing still. I can't lie, right? And there's some comments, people on Twitter talking about this new NBA is unwatchable, right? And part of the reason is not just because of the random ass three-point shots being attempted by when we were younger, not even when we were younger, but not that long ago, teams had an
Right.
identity,
Right.
right? Now there's really no team's identity anymore, right? It's just kind of let's do what Golden State did to win those rings. Golden State did that with Curry and Clay to win those rings. You guys don't have Curry or Clay
Right.
or Draymond or Iggy and Livingston. You guys don't have that, so it's like you guys got to find your own way to win, right? And a lot of teams are not really doing that, right? Plus the injuries. Basketball was, yeah, yeah. I don't want to go on that end of that end of the pool, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think that's why, with the injuries. So Zion played 70 games on a quick note. He played 70, but
Mhm.
in his 4 years, let's just go the first four. There's like 328 games he could have played. He played 184, which is like 50%, close to 50% of his games he's played. Been in the league for 4 years and only played 50% of the games. Like this is why
That's
we
wild.
this is
That's
why
wild.
we've like boosted the KDs, LeBrons, and Stephs. Like we've boosted them because first of all, they're playing way past people's prime. If you say
Yes,
they're playing way past
yes,
their prime, and they're still playing at an elite level, and they're playing like we're watching these guys play. Like
yes,
yes, KD got hurt, and it kind of came out of freak incident. Like no one even knew the man what was hurt. LeBron, knock on wood, has been pretty reliable. He's been pretty reliable for most of his career. He's been pretty reliable, and Steph has as well. Like Steph has, and I think Steph and Katie have been out for a whole season, but off a leg injury and all that stuff. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I still feel like I've seen them more than other players. We know Ja has had his gun situation and all that stuff, but now
yeah.
he has the hip injury, so he's out for multiple weeks. I'm gonna name someone. So Ja's out for multiple weeks, which sucks. Paolo's out for the 4 to 6 weeks. Uh, Durant's out for 2 weeks with a calf strain. Kawhi, Zion, I'm just gonna skip Kawhi.
So you skip the
Zion is out indefinitely. Lonzo's fine. He has a wrist injury, but like honestly, I'm just glad the man is like back playing.
playing. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm just
That wrist injury probably like a week, 2 weeks. Not
yeah.
even 2 weeks.
Porzingis is like low key injury prone. Middleton's been hurt for a while.
Middleton and Porzingis are those guys that they get injured still.
And
Right?
like I was gonna bring up the Pelicans because
Please do.
they have some bad luck going there. But yeah, all in all, it's just like the three guys are making us like I think it makes us hard as an NBA fan, as guys who talk NBA to view everyone else because they're doing it. They're playing. They're doing it at the elite level. We're not even. I feel like when those three guys retire, we're really gonna need to see the switch, right? Like, as I always say, like people think we didn't go from Jordan to like Kobe, Shaq. That was a brief pause, man. And even then, it was like, who was really the face of the league after Jordan? Like the true face. There really wasn't one, right? They're trying to, but ultimately, was Kobe, Shaq were like the most popular. But then Vince came. Vince is very popular, and then don't forget Iverson. Iverson.
Iverson was,
So those four guys are kind of
and
sharing.
they didn't want Iverson to be the face, right?
They did not, right, at all,
No,
right? So
no,
then
no,
LeBron
very
came,
good.
and then LeBron in the following year was like the face.
Yeah,
Cooper is gonna get like, we talked about the media of Wemby and the media of Zion. I think Cooper, he's the great white,
hype.
he's the future, right?
Yeah,
Great white hype, yeah.
yeah.
He's gonna get like a ton of love, like ton. They thought Caitlin Clark was a lot. This man's
No,
gonna get even more.
like
He's white,
Cooper.
he's American.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
was about to say, yeah, white American. Yeah, yeah. 6'10".
So
An
you're
elite, you
hoping,
already, I already say he's an elite defender. Already, elite defender.
yeah, he's good. He's good, man. He's real good. So my topic, what I said now, it leads me to the injuries, right?
Yeah,
We have a ton of injuries, like a ton of injuries, and it's hurt. But now, what also with the injuries, you hear reports of the TV, the TV ratings are down. TV ratings are down. TV ratings are down.
no.
No one's watching the games. Blah 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 blah. So the one thing I have a few thoughts about this. So if you allow me, like I have a few thoughts. But I'll kind of pause at each thought. One, I don't think TV ratings should matter as much because the fans who are watching the game are like younger fans. You can just watch a 10-minute clip on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can watch the game on Amazon Prime if you want to. If you I think I'm not sure it does every game, but I think YouTube Premium does some games. You can have NBA League Pass. Like you can have
Yeah, League
all
Pass and then
these
does the replays. Yeah,
you can
yeah.
have all these things. Some people we're in
On
Canada,
the
so
internet, right? Sorry, you're on the internet. You can just go to.
Come on, man. You can
NBA
stream it.
Replay HD, for example, and there's just replays, and I didn't, and that doesn't count for viewership, right?
Like you can just go on a streaming website, which is like you can't stop those things from happening. And you go on the stream website and you watch all the games. So I just don't think the ratings really matter. Now, in saying that, football is
Mm,
only like for your favorite team is only once a week. I can watch the Raptors 2 or 3 times this week. If I miss a game, I know there's another game coming. When it
yeah,
comes to my favorite team being the Packers, I got once a week to watch them. So guess what I'm gonna do? Make sure that whatever how my life is being planned that day, if they have a game on Thursday, I want to make sure that I leave work early to make sure I watch that game. If you
yeah,
have a game on Sunday, I'll plan whatever I need to plan to make sure I got that game right there. So I
yeah.
think that's what that's one thing. And then ratings in America, man, that middle of America is not the same like the East and West of America. It's not the same. We're not going to talk politics, but just look at the politics of America. That whole middle America is so blue, like or no, it's red. Sorry, it's red. Is it red? No, no. Which one? Yeah, it's red. The
It's
middle of
very
America
good.
is red because they're not getting out their house. They're staying home to watch TV. Like that's the people who are watching TV. People in New York and LA and
We're
Boston
talking
ain't
about
watching
like the
TV.
Wyoming, Iowa, Vermont, like
Come on, man.
mid,
Wisconsin.
yeah, yes, Wisconsin, yes,
These people aren't watching like
Indiana.
that. They're not gonna watch it. So to me, like to compare it, to be like, oh yeah, someone in like Wyoming is gonna want to watch like a game and like from OKC. No, they're not gonna watch it. Like it just doesn't make sense, especially when basketball is such a younger generation. But and things worldwide, basketball is so much. It's like literally become soccer and
Yeah,
basketball now.
it's
Like
literally like the top three right now because I know cricket is like
yeah,
worldwide
cricket's there.
top,
Yeah,
right? And then
yep,
there's soccer, American, you know what I mean? Soccer, and then basketball is there, right? So basketball is because American football is not really that worldwide, right? It's really
yeah. Yeah, they're not watching it like that. But you know, the Euro leagues, all that stuff, that it's so much people watch it all the time. So I think as much as you would care about ratings, I wouldn't care too much about ratings.
I agree with you because the sport is growing
It's
worldwide.
growing, like it's a worldwide sport.
It's
Like
growing, yeah,
if it
yeah,
was just an all-American guys, then I can see more concern,
yeah,
right? But
yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, you go to Japan, the World Series was being watched a lot this year, right? One of the reasons is because Otani is one of the better players, and you also had LA versus New York. That's really kind of deep dive. You
Crazy.
two,
That's yeah.
you had
That's
LA versus New York, so that's why you win
that
some.
that would make even a good NBA Finals, right? Two
Like big
historic
markets.
franchises, right?
Yeah,
Big
come on,
market.
man. It's let LeBron go back to the finals and see how the ratings do. Like it's a rating like that was always gonna do better. If you have OKC versus Milwaukee, I'm sorry, the ratings won't do that good,
Nah.
right? If you had the Minnesota
But
Twins
to us,
versus
we'd like to watch that
we'll
series,
watch
especially
it,
healthy.
right? So now the one Brian Windhorst said this thing, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. What he said about the ratings. He said like the media has ruined the ratings, like media outlets have ruined the ratings. And he's one thing he has said is that like with the media, they sometimes talk down the sport, or not only do they talk down the sport, but House of Highlights, ESPN, they don't give you like this what happened in a game. They show you a dunk or a wild pass. That's it. They show you the highlight. They're
Yeah,
giving you it's the TikTok generation. Like
yeah,
basketball faces the TikTok generation of like football doesn't have it'll have a play or two, but you gotta watch the whole game. But you have to generally watch the whole game. Where
yeah.
basketball, that John Moran had two highlights of that like speed of spin. You saw the spin, he had two
360
spins,
layup, yeah,
c-
yeah,
c- right? And I don't know who won the game. Well, I think I do know, but like no one cares to watch no one cares to know who won the game. They just care about the move,
yeah,
right? So it makes it different, right? Like we care, I think it's also the part of we care so much about the player and
yeah,
not the team, right? So that's what Winhorst said. What's one of the things. And I think it was on Twitter. Someone said this about like, and I when the person said it, I I actually agree. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. You know, when you think about the inside the NBA guys, Shaq, Charles, Kenny, Ernie. I wouldn't want to say Ernie and Kenny because I think they definitely watch, but Shaq and Charles consistently, consistently will be on TV and tell you that they do not watch NBA games. They will consistently say, "Well, I don't watch." Okay, oh, I don't like if it's a bad team. They'll be like, "I don't
I
watch
don't
the
know.
Houston Rockets.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't watch that team. Look at when they were bad. Or I don't watch the Raptors because they're bad." So like certain media people, the way they talk about teams, they make them sound so bad. So why would you want to go watch them? Because they're
Well,
so
maybe
bad.
Shaq and them have a disclaimer saying we don't watch the games.
Right,
We
but
don't watch.
like, but then
So
if it's my only outlet, if I'm like an older man who my only outlet is watching those four guys because I think they're funny, da 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 da, and all they're doing is just shitting on the league, I'm not gonna want to watch the league. When all you're doing is complaining about the 3-point shot, then I'm also gonna agree about the 3-point shot, right? So I feel like the one thing he says, like the media outlets, they talk down the game so much that makes people not love the game as much. And I actually agree with that. What do you think?
well, well, here's the thing with that. Like Windhorst does, he has a point, right? He has a point because it's like you're just shitting on squads, right? And it's and if that kid is saying, "Hey," it's like, what's the point? What's the point? But also, you have to have a mind of your own in a sense where it's like, you know what? Let me let me make the decision for myself. Let me watch the game and determine, are these guys really that bad? Do I like this team? Do I like these players? And so forth, so on. You know what I mean? You can't just go off of what this person's saying and not have an opinion for yourself. That's how I feel. You see what I'm saying? So Windhorse is educated, he's smart. To get up there, you have to be, you see what I'm saying? So what he's saying, he makes sense. But it's up to the individual to be like, you know what? Let me get something. Let me see if I can get something different from this. Let me see my perspective, I should say, right? Let me get my perspective. And that's how I feel with that still.
But don't you
That's the
think
point.
like Shaq and like Charles Barkley, they have a role in making sure that they don't complain too much about the game.
They do
Like
have a role, and they do because your job is to, but is their job to get ratings for their own segment or for the NBA? Like how it's designed is very, you know how it's designed, right? So
Yeah, very clickbaity, right? That's like anything Charles says, man, that's just going viral, right?
yeah,
Everything he says, it goes viral.
yeah.
So it's even like like I know they joke about it and like it's weird, right? Because like, but I think sometimes you could just overanalyze everything. That joke of like, the game that they say who he played for Charles Barkley, they go like who he played for, and then it's a funny joke when you
Yeah,
think about it, like.
yeah.
Why don't you know where these guys play? Because like this is your 24/7 job. Like this is your job, right? And it's like sometimes they come across like they frankly hate the job.
At times, like they don't know what's going on. Yeah, yeah,
So I can see why. So like someone's like, this is their last season together. There's no more of them. So I can't wait to see if there could be a mental shift after they're gone to be like, oh man, I do like the way this game is played. I do like the toughness because like every old back home people will complain. Music, we all complained about it. Sports, everyone is gonna be like, during my time it was better. It's just how it is. But then I wonder if it like deters people more. But I also think we're part of a TikTok generation that can only watch things for 2 minutes.
yeah, yeah. We are because
So
people just get information from TikTok. It's like it's crazy now. It's like
TikTok and Twitter, it teaches you everything.
I don't get it. Like we're used to guys that studied for years, published books, had to get edited.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
we're used to those guys giving us information, right?
yeah. So it's weird, right? Yeah. That's why I think there's the change of viewership. But all in all, I'm thinking once again, going back to my original thing, the viewership, like I just think it's a talking point. Like if we view like, oh, the viewership's down. Hockey viewership is down too. But no one talks about the hockey viewership being down. Yeah, because they like all these people are trying to get with Netflix and Amazon Prime. Like they want to put their games everywhere. So you have multiple outlets to watch it. Well, if you're telling people that you have multiple outlets to watch it, don't complain about the main one that you want. People aren't watching TV. I was really taking it in.
People don't
This
watch. Yeah, it's like it's TV. It's live.
if
Who
you think
watches
about
live
it,
stuff anymore?
like people who have like an Amazon, a Netflix, let's say even a Disney, all any of those, you're borderline spending more money watching those than having your Bell basic cable.
I was gonna say basic, yeah.
Like you're spending more money than even what's after basic cable? Like what is it called? I don't know.
There goes like certain pack. There's like be like a
Right.
basic plus a sports pack, basic plus a news
But
pack,
when we
basic
were younger, there wasn't like a sports pack. It was just basic and something else. It was either you had until channel like 30 or you have
or
until
to
channel
53,
like
60
53.
something.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
60
saying?
something. Yeah, the WB back in the day. It was like
Right?
WB
So you either
thirty.
had
Yeah.
up to basically Fox or you had all the way till like legit Treehouse. Like
Yes.
you
Yeah,
literally had
63,
that.
66.
So
Yeah.
but when you had up to Treehouse, you got to watch all your shows and you were probably only spending whatever amount. Now Disney's $30, Netflix is $30. You're spending way more bread than like you ever had to, right? So it's just to me, it's like, what are we talking about? And if you're gonna let me spend $30 on Netflix, I'm gonna make sure I watch Netflix
100%. It's if you have even the internet, you don't need to watch anything live.
at
How
all.
much people do you know personally that will watch anything live, like a show, a sporting event? Like,
Yeah, see, the only thing I watch live is sports, I would say. Truly, I only watch sports live. But like, once again, if I know that I can always check a highlight, I may just check a highlight. If the things that give me a 10-minute highlight, is I'd rather watch a 10-minute highlight.
right?
Sometimes it all depends on who's facing each other. Like
Exactly.
I
That's the more
watch like
detailed. That's the more
right,
detailed ones, the 10 minute and the 2 minute. Yeah, yeah,
right. Like I may not want to see a really bad Detroit team versus like the Trailblazers.
yeah. I
We all
wouldn't.
have
Yeah.
our limits. I mean I love basketball, but I may not want to see all that.
Here's the thing, like the whole of the West and East Finals and the NBA Finals last season,
Yeah,
I watched online.
right.
I maybe watched one or two games live. Everything else was just a replay.
And I
But I
think it's
watched the
like
whole replay though, right? So I seen certain things in the game, but still, it wasn't live. But I still viewed the finals, East, West, and NBA Finals. So
I think once like the NBA Cup starts tomorrow as we record this podcast. It starts tomorrow. Like I think if those games are more competitive and hyped, people will watch it. And like people talk about the game, right? We can all agree the game is a really 3 point heavy, really 3 point heavy. People complain about it being 3 point heavy. Well, like high key is none of the coaches' faults. The coaches are the ones who are like shoot more threes.
analytics, you're right.
Like Mazzulla's the one who's telling his the Celtics team to shoot 50 times a game. So if you really want to complain, complain to them and say like you're like ruining the game. We need more mid ranges. Like Anthony Edwards is shooting like eight threes a game. Like if it's a
I know.
problem,
I know. He's shooting a lot of threes a game.
this season he's shooting a lot. They told him to, so he's doing it. They told him they needed him to space the floor, so he's doing it. So we kind of talked about them briefly. Um, I want to talk quickly about the Pelicans. Just because it's like, man, that team is look everyone's injured. Like you go to their depth chart, except Brandon Ingram. He's the only
And
one
you're
that's
in
not
the
injured.
West. Remember the West, everyone is over 500 except 12, 13, 14, 15 seed. Everyone's
Yeah,
above 500. It's not the East.
it's
You
definitely
cannot
not the
miss a
East.
beat in the West. So those injuries are going to cost the Pels. It's
That's
really
why
the
that's why
Pels.
like when it comes to like a team like Philly, sorry to cut you off, like a team like Philly, no one thinks that like they're out of it because they're in the East.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, man, you're fine. Like
In the
Atlanta's
East,
not going on games, Charlotte's not going on games.
you can have 3 wins right now, and you're not out of it. You're not
You're
even
really
close to
not.
out of it.
Yeah, yeah, you're really not. Like four wins is literally like the Knicks have
Third
four
or fourth
wins.
place. It's fourth place.
Legit.
Literally.
Uh,
The
the Knicks
East
have
is
four, and then so does Atlanta, and Atlanta's like out of the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's why the Pelicans need health is going to be so key, especially for the West, how it's trending right now. The
Yeah,
East is definitely going to be, they're both going to be tight, but the East is having a way worse record than the
way,
West, right?
way worse record. Like right now, the Pelicans, because they lost today, they're 3-8. I'll tell you now, like
So what the Spurs at? Because the Spurs, I think, have 4 wins. I don't know.
they're 5-6 because they won today,
They won today. Okay.
right? So they're 5-6. Dallas is 5-5. Dallas is like was our like playoff picks. Like we picked like Dallas to go pretty far in the playoffs. So they're 5-5. They're not gonna be 5-5 forever. They're gonna have a good record.
Yeah, yeah.
Sacramento should have a good record. The Clippers, I would say like they are like one of my biggest surprises because I didn't expect them to be this good. I truly did. I
I
just hope, you pick Norm to be the sixth man of the year. The man, he hasn't. I think that was a good pick because the way he's shooting well, but he won't get it because he's starting.
I know,
He's
and he's dropping numbers
he's
starting.
dropping the man's. He's like top 10 in the league right now in points. Um, I'm just curious if this man will get an All-Star bid. That's what I keep thinking about. Will he get an All-Star bid? But the way like the West is moving, how couldn't he not get an All-Star bid?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, the way he's
Norman's
scoring the ball.
balling. He's balling.
Especially if the Clippers have a good record, I'm thinking like you got to give them it.
Right now, they're trending to be kind of 500 by the season end.
Crazy. It's
Kind of.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Right. So yeah, you still have the Clippers, you have Minnesota, you have the Lakers, then you have the Grizzlies, Houston, Denver, which I think I want to talk about next.
yeah, yeah,
G State, Phoenix, and OKC. So like if you're the Pelicans, without you don't have Zion for multiple weeks, CJ for multiple weeks, freaking DeJounte Murray for multiple weeks, Trey Murphy the third should be coming back next week. Like, bro, how are you gonna overcome this?
Jordan Hawkins has to go off. Like,
That's why, like, I don't know. So I always think like, are you just injury prone? Because it reminds you of the Clippers, right? In the Clippers, you would think about their history as a
CJ,
franchise.
CJ and DeJounte, not so much injury prone. Zion,
It's Zion. You're correct. You're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah. It's Zion. It's Zion. Yeah.
right?
Because
So,
you're willing to trade Brandon Ingram as because you want it to be Zion's team, and that man can't be on the court. Like he played 70 games last year. I'll give you that. He did play 70 games last year. I'll definitely
but
give
look
you
at the
that.
body of work.
Right. Because like him playing 70 games, once again, we're all like, really? Like, we didn't even notice. Like he really, mind you, he had a good season, but like, whoa, man had played
And
70
he's out
games.
indefinitely, right? He's supposed to be reevaluated when? Is there any time to
I
reevaluation?
don't know. I'll double check because that's what
Because
people don't. That
that's
reevaluation is a
six
thing
weeks. 6 weeks is how much games? That's more than 12 games.
that easily prevalent. Yeah, definitely.
So he's already, if it's 6 weeks minimum, that's close to 20 games.
It just says out indefinitely. Now indefinitely can mean.
Yeah, we don't know still.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Sham said several weeks. Yeah, so that's probably I would say 6 weeks to like 6 to 8 weeks for sure before they say like this is where he's at.
Let's say 6 weeks. I want to say in 1 month, you play how much games? You play more than 15 games a month. You play, I want to say,
You play 12 to
3
15 games depending on the
you play
way
three
the
a week, right? Okay, yeah, you're right.
yeah,
You're
depending on
right.
yeah.
3 a week. Yeah, that's 12. Okay, 12. So maybe you may miss 16 games, right? Let's say
That's so
16-ish.
much. It's so much. Not in the Western, man. The Western Conference is too much.
That's a lot of games, though.
You
You're
can't.
already playing 60 something games. You don't even hit 70 yet already.
And I'm telling you, their next games are not easier without Zion. Your next games are OKC, Denver, the Lakers, Dallas, Cleveland, Golden State, the Pacers, and then Toronto. So your next,
All playoff teams but Toronto.
and I just named what, 7 teams?
Yeah, all playoff teams but Toronto. Pacers, yeah, Golden State, OKC.
And you
And
want to
these
trade
are
Brandon
actually hot
Ingram.
teams right now.
And you want to trade Brandon Ingram, who's like trade value is going down.
That's crazy. Like the thing is, you guys should flip the script, trade Zion when he gets back, trade Zion.
But I think if you trade Zion, right? Like if you're a team, what do you remember I was saying last week? I'm not trading multiple draft picks for Zion. Like I will never be that desperate to trade multiple. The Knicks right now are like, why did we trade so much draft picks for Mikal Bridges? They're confused right now why they
Yeah,
did that,
yeah.
right? Like, and he may step back up and be a better player, but even they're kind of like, why do we do it? I'm not trading like I may trade one protect like top five protected draft pick for Zion.
What if you're the Wizards, for example, and you need
I
like you
would
need
do it. I would do it. You don't tell me nothing else. If I'm the Wizards, I would do it because I'm thinking like this guy can bring me. I'm thinking more of the tickets. I'm respectfully thinking about the tickets. I'm not
yes,
thinking about nothing
definitely,
else, right?
definitely.
But you're like, would any team need him? No. But if you tell me that I'll give you like Kuzma and maybe Kisper and like someone other than I put Zion on this team, I'd be like, yeah. But once again, that'd be a bad move on Washington. You're like starting a youth movement. You'll have a top five pick next year. Start your youth movement. Bilal Coulibaly been playing really well this year. Just kind of stick to that, in my opinion. But yeah, yeah. What would you want to trade for Zion?
If I'm the Wizards, I'm gonna do what it takes. I'm trading picks. I'm doing what it takes because me being the Wizards, I would say, you know what? If I can land Zion, maybe that can attract a guard or whoever to come over here to play with Zion. I'm thinking that route. You know what I mean? Like I hear you
Mm.
the picks, that's a sacrifice, but I'm willing to get the tickets bought, get the jersey sold, and get a point guard, attract one, two free agents to play with Zion. That's what I'll be banking on still.
No, I can see that. I could definitely see that. Another team that's been hurt a lot is the 76ers because Maxi's out for like I think
But
two
they trade in
weeks.
places. It's like musical chairs, like Maxi in, Maxi out.
Yeah.
Paul George
Yeah.
in, Maxi out. Embiid, no back to back. So it's like
Because Embiid, I think, is supposed to be coming back next week, Tuesday. He should be back, but they're 2-7. Their schedule doesn't look well.
they're
It
in the East.
depends,
So they
man.
seem to go on like a 5 game winning streak.
Yeah, they have
Something like
opportunity, right? Because
that.
I see some Orlando here, and like with a healthy Embiid, with a healthy Embiid, they can compete. They can win games, right? They should be fine. They may be in like the fifth, sixth seed though. Maybe touching a play-in game, which like last year, the same thing. They were in the play-in last year, right? So it could be the same thing. It could definitely be the same thing. So they need to be careful because yeah, once again, Philly's hurt. We talked about Katie's injury. I think that does impact the Suns, but it gives Bradley Beal and Booker the ability to kind of do the thing. But Katie was playing like a fucking.
Katie was MVP type.
He really
Bradley
was,
Beal
man.
is
He really was. He was really playing.
Bradley Beal's gonna have to step up.
No, he was. A team that I wanted to mention. Okay, the Cavs are 12-0.
Yeah.
They're 12-0. Like I don't know what Cavs corner or Cavs like media want, but clearly it's
What's
a
the
good team.
land? No, we can't call it the what's the land
The
media.
land, like, and we talked about them last week. All I don't have much to say about them. Do you have much to say about them? I just want to say they're 12-0.
Honestly, I'm just surprised that Cavs are 12-0. I did not expect this, right? I that Brooklyn Nets win on what was it, Saturday or Sunday night?
Hmm.
Saturday night. I thought Brooklyn, I'm like, this is a young team. Can Brooklyn close it out? They didn't.
Yeah, young teams can't close it out. That's the whole Raptors season. The whole Raptors season is a team that cannot close it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but the
So
thing is, they're gonna have a good record. This team can win like 60 games, man.
they're on pace.
They're
I didn't
definitely on
expect
pace.
this. Like we've been saying, we're gonna see in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
They,
they're a playoff team. They're literally the Toronto Raptors, man, of like
we'll see.
60 years ago. They're really the Toronto Raptors. That's how
This
I
is,
see it.
this is their year to get to the East Finals.
Right. Is it that Raptor year they made it, please? That's true. That's true. They're playing like it, man. Heck, if Evan Mobley keeps playing this consistently, anything's possible.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a new coach or is the same coach?
New coach. But
New
I
coach,
think
right?
it's Yes, I think it's a fully new coach. I don't know why I'm thinking that he came halfway last year. No, no, he's fully new. Kenny Atkinson.
There we go. Okay, Kenny Atkins. Oh, he was on the Nets. He was the Nets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's funny as I
So
didn't really like him on the Nets like that.
even the Jazz, but him and Donovan Mitchell got along well. And then he implores good defense. So
Okay.
it's always good. Um, I want to I want to talk about the Warriors. Let's talk about the Warriors. I think another shocking team is them.
I would say so myself.
Like, I didn't know they were going to be this good. I really didn't think so. I didn't know. I didn't know Buddy Hield was going to be this like lightning rod that was going to give him like 2016, 2017 Clay. Like I didn't think that
These
was no.
Warriors, they're just getting it done. You know what I mean? Like Curry is still doing what Curry does. It's just crazy to me. And
And the
everyone
thing
thought
is,
there'd
we
be a
we
fall
talked
off.
and we talked about them, and like they are a deeper team. Like we knew that they were.
Yeah,
And like they have the scoring, they have the shooting, they have like the wing depth. And the thing is like the person that's not getting a lot of love is Kaminga, you
it's
know?
crazy. And that was
And
my
and,
guy. That's my guy.
and
That's
me
my
and you both said like they should almost play around Kaminga. Like their goal to me is like make Kaminga the best player you can make him because we both agree Steph still has like I think Steph got like 3, 4 years in him,
stuff. Yeah, he's got 3-4. And in
right?
those 3-4, if you guys are still planning to keep Kaminga,
You build around Kaminga. No, I agree. But like you could tell they fuck with Moody. Moody's actually had a pretty good season so far.
and I'm
Um,
surprised because I'm thinking it's crazy.
like the Anthony Melton has been good for them. Once again, freaking Pods hasn't played from most because he's hurt.
Yeah,
But he should be back. Like I didn't know they were gonna start Trace Jackson Davis. I didn't think that. I thought they're gonna start at least Looney. But he starts. So you have Looney off the bench, who's a pretty good bench guy. Like their bench isn't bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's it's a. I think they're evenly scoring wise. Like Steph is only averaging 22. Buddy Hield's averaging 18.
Wild. What do you
Right, crazy, right?
have?
Wiggins is 15, then 14, and everyone has like 8 points, 8 points. Like they're just I don't know, man. Shouts out to them. But
Shouts out to the Warriors. I want because I remember seeing them in assists for the top team in assists. What's funny is Raptors are fourth
I thought the Raptors were first. They're fourth.
in team assists.
Yeah,
They're like third or fourth, yeah.
yeah,
But
I
it's
don't know.
barely. It's like barely. Everyone's like it's like 30.1, 30.30,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So
no, I definitely remember. I know the Raptors are because that's the one thing they wanted to make sure they do. Um,
and it's crazy because the teams above they have, I believe, winning records.
I
Or
can
at least
definitely see that.
500. And we're there and it's like, damn.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But that's why, like, I think to myself, eventually this Raptor team is going to be good, but because they pass the ball so well.
Yeah.
But who the frick knows? Who knows? Who knows? Now, one thing I wanted to also talk about was oh yes, D'Angelo Russell. I know me and you've talked about him a few times. He he's
D'Lo.
he's he's bench. He got benched. He decided that, when they asked him, "Are you okay with being benched? What's your thought process?" He said, "I've been in the league too long. My ego, mind you, I'm paraphrasing. I don't have an ego. I don't have an ego. I'm gonna come off the bench and do well." And quite frankly, I think like that's just probably the best option for him to come off the bench. And
That
it's
was a
not that
mature
he's
answer
not a
for him. That was a mature answer for D'Lo.
oh very much mature. Yeah, yeah. He's so I mean, in my mind, if he has that mentality, then I'm literally telling him like, hey, when you come off the bench, light it up,
Light it
light
up.
it up.
But let me ask you this. If your work says, hey, you know what? Work a little bit less hours. We're gonna give you the same pay. How would you feel?
I get less hours and I get same pay.
Yeah.
I'll be okay with it.
Okay.
I'll be
That's
okay
me
with it.
kind of looking at the situation still, in a sense. In a sense.
Right?
It's
I'll be
very,
okay with it. But then for him, it's also, but then I'm thinking, I'm okay with it this year, but is it going to impact my raise next year? Because my contract's up this year. So then I'm a
Mm,
little annoyed because now you're impacting my contract next year, right?
mm.
Because it's gonna impact his contract next year. But if he just becomes a flamethrower,
Yeah.
he can make what Malik Monk made. Like he can really be a six man of the year candidate, in my opinion. If like he
Because who was it? Reeves, right? Reeves took the spot? Not
no
took
no
the
no.
spot, but
They who took Cam Reddish
there we
restart.
yeah, I was surprised when I seen him in the lineup. Like Cameron started? He
Yeah,
was
because
surprised.
I think they need another wing defender, and
And
LeBron could just
Shaqiri.
play the point. They might have had a triple double. You might against the right, two triple doubles in a row.
I was surprised because I'm like, how did AD only have 4 rebounds?
Because I think the with the way that this Lakers team plays, I know sometimes they want to play fast, but you can't play fast anymore with a 40-year-old LeBron. AD needs the ball. Like he should slow down. And then Austin Reeves is more of a creation type of player.
Austin Reeves
Uh,
is becoming his own guy right now.
right. And like, in my mind, I'm like, let Austin Reeves can give you 18, 19 points a game.
He surprised me.
Rui can give you 14 points. It's just he's so inconsistent.
Who he
But
is.
like just and then Cam Reddish can give you the defense and he can hit the corner three. And LeBron's just gonna organize. Do you just tell D'Lo come in with Gabe Vincent, Dalton connect? What's the guy? What's the young boy? Jackson Hayes, who shouldn't be in the league. He actually should not be in the league, but whatever.
Why? Why
Uh,
though? Why?
there was that little thing with him and his girl that he hit her and stuff, but there's no video of him hitting her. But he like there's stuff around it that doesn't seem good, and it's weird. I think the league is now going to investigate, so that is what it is. But like all this stuff with the Lakers, like they, I still think they're missing a guy though. I think they're missing a guy. I don't know who that guy is. Well, I do. I think it's either you go get those one of those two guys from Portland. If you can take one of those two guys from Portland and you don't have to spend too much money getting them,
Mhm.
it'd be nice. Like if you could trade just off the rip, like a Rui for like Anthony Simons, you immediately
Jesus.
do it,
Jesus.
right? Come on,
Jesus. You serious?
come on.
That yo, I'm a Lakers fan if that trade goes. I'm a
And you,
Lakers fan.
and
Anthony Simons is my guy. He's a bucket. He's certified.
and
And
then
he's
if
been a bucket when CJ and Dame on the squad, but he just was come on, he's just getting no time.
they they like they've if you think about it, they let go of Gary Trent back then because they're like Anthony Simons is here, we like him, his game better. And then they also said, hey, thank you for bringing us Norm, but we're also going to ship Norm too because we want Anthony Simons to get the love. Ship CJ because Anthony Simons like they believe in this guy, but that's not the way this team is going to run. But if you just had Anthony Simons on this team with AD playing the way AD's playing like this MVP type, and LeBron is just like, I'm just going to be Draymond,
They're
and
loaded.
when
They're loaded. They're loaded with Anthony though. They're
you
loaded.
know what
They're
I'm saying?
officially loaded
Like
because
I'll just be
Anthony Simons
Draymond.
is a borderline all-star.
Yeah, yeah. He can play like an all-star still. So I don't know the money. I'm not sure if the monies would match. I'm just calling out a trade.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think Lakers would want to trade this one guy, but let's see. Austin Reeves, Russell, and Rui. And what you trade those three guys for is Grant, so Jeremy Grant, and Anthony Simons. Would you do it?
I'm the Lakers.
Yeah.
And Portland gets Rui, Reeves, and who's the third?
Rui Reeves and D'Angelo Russell.
Lakers, I'm doing it.
Because I'm thinking like
I'm
I
definitely
feel like I know
doing
they're attached to Austin Reeves, but I'm sorry, Anthony Simons is a better version of that.
it
And
way
that's
better.
and
Better
that's what
shooter
you
too.
need. Like unless Austin Reeves can become Anthony Simons, which is like a borderline guy who can be talked about in the All-Star consideration, like what are we saying? Of
I I mean it's possible. Can you? Possibly. I don't see it.
course, yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, it's possible, but there has to be more consistency. Like Austin Reeves needs to average 20 points a game. He needs to average 20 points a game. Because LeBron's 40. LeBron's 40, man.
40.
He can't be doing all this like he's doing it, but this should be the year that LeBron averages like 21, 22 points a game. He should just be a high volume Draymond Green. That's it. Like I'll just do my thing. I'll pass the ball. Y'all just stay open because I'm still LeBron James. They still think they have to double me. your presence alone is what they do. So, but I like the thought of D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench. It could be really good for the team, but they are missing a wing. Definitely missing a wing. So, I look forward to see what they do. I was gonna talk about the Suns, but Katie's hurt, so they played well. What else can you honestly say? Now, a team. One of the last things I want to talk about, a team that like I'm seeing try, and I'm seeing them like win a couple games, and I want to immediately tell them. I want to just talk to them, Chicago Bulls fans. If you're watching this, I just want to talk to you guys. I see your team is winning. I see your team wants to win. But here's a message: stop winning. Stop trying to win. You're the Chicago Bulls. You are not better than the Knicks, Boston, Philly, freaking Indiana. You're barely better than Atlanta. Okay,
The
you're barely
Cavs
better.
and Cavs and Cavaliers.
Cavs. You're barely better than Atlanta. Okay, you're barely better than them. Stop winning games. It's getting their defense is good. Like it's stop winning games. This is not like lose games. You need to be a bad team. You need to go for Cooper. You need to go for Ace Bailey. You need to go for
How much
VJ.
teams still go? So at least go for Ace. Because how much teams are gonna go for Coop?
Like you know what I'm
The
saying? Like
Coop
go for
sweepstakes.
Ace. Go for VJ. Go for the French kid.
I was gonna say
Go for someone
the
else.
French guard. He looks kind of nice actually.
You know what I'm saying? Like
He looks
go for
kind of nice. The
go
next
for
Tony
Dylan
Parker.
Harper. You remember the Harper that you had on Chicago Bulls years ago? Remember that Harper? He helped you guys win a title back in the day. Go for the Sun. Go like let's build
Shout out to
something.
Ron Harper. When he was on the Cavaliers, he was a real bucket. He was a
Come
real
on,
two guard in the league.
defensive player type. Like he was a
Crazy,
guy. He was a
crazy
guy.
work.
So go get his son. Go Chicago. Go get his son. Go get his son. What are you guys doing? To me,
You could have his
look,
son younger. You can have a rookie in his
come
son.
on. Like
Crazy work.
we are Raptors fans. I want the Raptors to win games. I really do. But us being 2-9 or 2-8, whatever our record is, I'm also okay with it. Okay, I'm
I am because it's a Cooper draft, but I'm not. I am and I'm
right.
not.
I don't like losing. I hate the thought of losing. But I rather lose. Like Atlanta got the first overall pick by chance. They were like the 10th overall seed and got the first overall pick. That doesn't happen. Normally the bottom teams will win. And the draft lottery, you never know who's gonna win. But if you can touch that top three, top four, that's pretty good for your squad. Okay.
Yeah,
So I don't want to not be.
especially this season and the
Come
whole
on. So
squad.
I'm like I'm a little more like heck, let all these young players get some more minutes. Let's do our thing. Let RJ become that guy. But yeah, Chicago, please stop winning. I can't do it anymore. Stop winning games. It's like the worst. I think it's the reason why. Because what are you gonna do? What are you doing? Is Zach LaVine's trade value gonna be higher? Do you want to trade for Zach LaVine? Do you want Zach LaVine? Is Vucevic gonna get traded? You had your best trade asset and you traded him for Josh Giddey.
That's crazy work.
That was your best trade asset. I don't know. When I see them win games, I'm like, y'all cheese me. Y'all don't care about yourselves at all. They don't. They don't care about themselves. Before we get to wraps, anything you want to chime in for NBA thing? Anything you see in the NBA this week?
Nuggets seem to be winning games lately. You know what I mean? So shout out the Nuggets right
You're
now. They
right.
seem to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
getting it back.
I don't think we buried them. I don't think we buried them, but I think we picked up the shuffle. I think a lot of people
We
picked up the
grabbed it. It was in
shuffle.
our hand. It was in our hand.
It can't even lie.
It
It
was in
was
the
kind of
hand.
like, oh, what? Oh, Jokic have a triple doubles? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's what I'm saying. Like high key, I made it my profile name, funny, and I forgot about them. But like, let this guy win 55 games, 60 games. Okay, let him win with like this lineup and this troublesome that they're providing. You
Crazy.
tell me that nigga don't deserve the fourth fucking MVP, man. When I think of actual MVP, I think of Anthony Davis. I thought of the way KD played, but you cannot tell me anyone is gonna bring this Denver Nuggets team the way that this guy's bringing it. No way.
No, he's MVP still.
Yeah, like I'm like, fuck, like I know y'all don't want to vote him, but that guy is playing like the best player in the fucking world right now. Okay,
He
he's
is.
just that guy is so good. That's just it. The only Raptor thing I want to talk about, like once again, I'm glad like I'm glad we're like winning. Like I'm glad. But like I'm glad we're losing. Sorry. I don't know I said winning. I'm glad I don't even say I'm glad. I'm glad we're competing. Because we're competing.
We are. We definitely are.
We have like
We
the
can't close.
most we have the most losses after leading in going into the fourth quarter in this season. Like we've led most of the games, but we don't know how to close. That's our issue. We don't know how to close because I think we stopped playing like we stopped passing the ball and we start like doing too much. But honestly, we've seen him develop. Grady Dick has played well. OJ
Brady
Abaji,
Dick is.
right? Come on, Abaji can't miss a corner three. That guy is fucking
I didn't know he could shoot like this.
he couldn't. He couldn't. There's a video of the coach like teaching him how to shoot properly. Ever since the man has been fucking lights out. Okay. He's playing himself to a good contract in like 2 years. So shouts out to him. Once again, I think our coach is a development coach. That's right. I don't think he's the coach to take us to that spot. I don't think he's there. I think he's, one thing people have to realize, which I agree, as much as the players are learning and growing, this is his first time being a head coach. He's also learning and growing too,
That's a good point. That's a good
right?
point.
So his execution that he's just missing. But the one thing I wanted to say, Chris Boucher has been really good this season.
I know he has
He
been.
has been. So I'm about to say something that's gonna sound a little negative or whatever. I realized this guy's playing so well. Oh my gosh, we're gonna trade him. We're gonna trade him. We're gonna because the thing is stuff he's playing so good. His
Value.
value is so fucking up right now. I'm like, because I think to myself, okay, who can we trade on the Raptors? Bruce Brown eventually when he plays. Because people still think of Bruce Brown, the Denver Bruce Brown. Okay,
I
cool, that's
hope
him.
because he hasn't played really since then.
He doesn't play, he just comes in his cowboy hats.
I know. He's just
But the way Boucher's playing, I'm
that
thinking
looks like
like,
Woody from Toy Story every game.
come on, man.
Crazy.
But the way Boucher's playing, who's not gonna want this 6'10" power forward,
Long
sometimes small
block shots,
forward?
hit threes.
Who's not going to want that? Right? Because I'm not going to tell you all the negative things. All those times he has lapses on defense and he just gets confused sometimes on defense. And like, I won't tell you about those things.
On a championship type squad, he's not doing that really, I don't think.
Right? Because you're not going to ask him to do too much. Now, does Chris Boucher shoot the ball more than he should? Yes, he shouldn't shoot the ball the way he should. But he's been like lighting the clip recently. And I want to see what is his stats
Let's see the
looking like?
stats for Boucher on the.
'Cause I don't know what he's saying, but I just like watched him and I laughed. I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's getting traded. Like he's gonna get traded. And it's okay because like once again, um it's
He's averaging 11 points this season. True.
and his 3-point shooting says 32%. But man, his most recent games, I know it's not no 32 fucking percent. He was being lights out the last few games.
See the last
Yeah.
game log.
The last 5 games, he shot shooting the three. I don't
Oh, I
know how
see
much
two
attempts
for
he had.
four.
Sorry?
I see 2 for 4.
Right. He's 50%, then didn't shoot, then another 50%, didn't shoot, then 66%. So
Yeah,
most recently, he's been really good.
yeah. He's been hitting. Yeah. Boucher.
So I'm gonna advertise that he's a 36% three-point shooter who can block shots. Energy big. Who wants it? Who wants an energy big, guys? Who wants to give me one of their picks? Oh, Houston, you think you're so close to getting a big man? Just touch me. Oh, OKC?
Okay,
Oh,
so he's gonna
OKC.
pick
OKC, you don't have no big. Chris Boucher can play small by five. He can play five.
the play, yeah.
He's as skinny as Chet anyway.
Chet's injured. Chet's injured.
He's as skinny as Chet. He's Canadian. Did you know he's Canadian? He speaks French. Him and Dort know each other. Bro, I'm freaking advertising this guy,
You
bro.
could, you could, you could, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I'm like, okay, Boucher. keep playing well because you're getting us another draft pick. You're getting me another draft pick. I'm sorry. I like you. I love you, brother. But you're getting another draft. But that's really it for me. Anything you want to talk about this week? Any
Uh,
Raptor talk? Any of that?
man, I don't like the tanking, but shit, man.
I don't like the tanking,
Shit.
but what I will say, they're competing. It makes it they're easier to watch this year than last year. Last year was hard to
100%.
watch.
100%.
This
100%.
year, at least they're competing. We're seeing guys develop, and that's what we just had to realize this year. It's a development year. You have to take the wins and losses the way they are.
I'm not gonna lie. Even if we be losing like that this season, to watch Grady Dick ball out is entertaining still to watch. I can't even lie. Like he's the biggest surprise to me on the Raptors by far.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I
I
mean?
think like Emmanuel quickly came back the last two games. My only thing with Emmanuel quickly is that the ball movement was so good on the Raptors that I feel like he has been sticking to the ball a little longer than he should have. And that's something that I would want to change. But I also think he's just kind of getting his feet wet,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then once Scotty comes, everyone get their feet wet. Then Kelly Olynyk, I think that man's coming back next year, like next, not next season, but
Or
next,
January.
yeah, January. Him and Bruce Brown, I think both those guys will be back like next calendar year. I think they're gonna let them not play now. Well, think about it, they're gonna let them play, especially Bruce Brown. We're gonna let this guy play 5 games in January, and what's February time? Trade deadline. Trade deadline. You saw him 5 games, right? You saw 5 games? Oh, just telling you guys. Him and Chris Boucher, guys. Don't worry about it. Just fucking take him.
Picks,
So
picks.
just picks. Yeah, I would definitely want picks galore. But I also want like future picks. I don't want too much now picks. I like that
Yeah,
future
I
because
like that. Like you have some good now and then some later. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because like
Like
we have a
2027.
right, 'cause we have a 2026 Indiana pick that like Indiana's not gonna be bad next year, but you never know. What if they like aren't good? It's unprotected. It could be a top 15 pick. You never
I
know.
don't know. Indiana's as long as they kind of keep the same guys, like they're gonna be decent still. I'm not gonna lie. Like
And they're a team that like just I guess they'll close it off, but like we both love Mathurin. Respectfully,
for
give that
real.
nigga because Tyrese Halliburton, if this is really him, if he doesn't want to be the guy, shake your hands with him and be like, just be our point guard. Because we all he's a great point guard.
Just be Stockton. Just be
Just be
Stockton.
Stockton. And we need Mathurin. Hey Mathurin, you know those 20 shots you keep shooting off the bench? Do 24 as a starter. You'll win most improved and you'll win fucking whatever other award you want.
He is balling this year. Every time I
Make
see him, he's like dropping 20, something or
bro,
30.
make him
It's
and
crazy.
he reminds me so much of Jimmy Butler for some reason. I think because of the attitude.
Yes, and that.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
not just
And
make
he's
him
Haitian.
like,
And he's Haitian.
come on, man.
Jesus.
Make him your guy. Make him the guy. Honestly, like change
Who's the
your
guy on the
dynamic.
squad? Is it Siakam? There's no real guy on the squad, right? Siakam?
Make Mathurin your guy. Make him the number one guy. And then you make him your so he's your guard. Then you have your power forward in Siakam who can give you 20 points a game. He can give you 27 and 5 easily. Then you have freaking Halliburton who's just gonna dish it out, hit the three at a 40% rate, give you 15 points a game. Like you have your three guys now, right? Now Nemhard is a guy that like
Hmm.
I would call around the league. Because I said first I was saying Mathurin I'd call around the league. But Nemhard I'll be because they're all good players. But
Yeah.
but you're missing a guy. Either you make Mathurin the guy, or you trade for. And I thought they should have went for Mikal Bridges, but not with no 4 draft picks. Shit, don't do that. That's crazy.
Like Bridges' shot is cheesing me. So yeah.
Yeah, but they need someone. But yeah, that's the pod. That is the pod. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That was this week in ball. Hopefully, the NBA Cup is this week, so we're probably going to chat about that next as well. Hopefully, there's no more injuries. Please turn off injury mode in 2K25 because there's too much of it. We need injury mode to be gone. We need these guys to play. We have to watch them. Well, we hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk again. Peace.